So you're doing some 10 pulls on the current weapon banner, and you get 4-star Song of Stillness. Wrong way. Song of Stillness. Now, of course, that is a joke. This is the craftable weapon in Fontaine. Now, I want to talk about this weapon in case somebody pulled Lenny and they didn't get a signature and they don't know what weapon to put on him. This is a very, very good weapon for Lenny. If you want to know more about that, do be sure to check out this right here, this video right here, where in that video I talk about this weapon for Lenny as well as some other options. But I don't have Lenny. This is going to be for characters that are not Lenny. So first we're going to look at this weapon, what it does and who it can be good for. So it does get up attack percent, which is going to be really, really good for a lot of characters. A lot of characters are going to appreciate that. It's passive. After the wielder is healed, it will increase damage by 16%. Notice that it's damage. It doesn't say like normal attack or skill or burst. It doesn't specify. It is all damage that the character that is wielding this does. Also, it can work even if they are not on the field. Now let's go look at this weapon, and for that we are going to use Sara. Now, before we get some healing in, Sara is going to be dealing about 642 on the non-crits with her normal attacks. Of course, it's going to go up and down because of how normal attacks work. But as you can see, we are getting like 600 up into the higher 500s, even into some of the 700s or 800s. On the charge attacks, we are getting in the 1200s non-crit with a crit 2941, which is really good. So now we're going to heal her and we're going to see how much her damage goes up. On the charged attacks, 1393, so it's gone up by at least 100. It was in the 1200s, now it's in the 1300s, almost 1400 though. On the crit, we have 3300. So you can see that it has gone up quite a good bit from getting the healing on Farina. On the crit with the normal attacks, you're looking at like 1600, 1700, 900 on the regular hit, 701 on the first, 735. You can see that we have gone up by about 16% on the dot actually. The overall damage, doesn't matter if we're doing normal attacks, doesn't matter if we're doing charge attacks. If we were using her skill, it would also be doing increased damage. Same thing with her burst. It's going to increase all of the damage that this character that has it equipped is dealing out. So now we're going to look at the characters that this weapon can be good for outside of Lenny. So let's go look back at Sara. Now, one of the things about Sara is that she can use this weapon not necessarily for the damage, but if you don't have a higher base attack weapon, this at level 90 is a base attack of 510. Sara's skill gives an attack buff based on her base attack and the base attack of the weapon that she has equipped. So if you don't have something higher than this weapon's base attack, you can just go craft this weapon and use it. It can be good for that. If you have something higher base attack, like I use Skyward on Sara, then definitely use that over this weapon for her attack buff. So now we're gonna look at a character like Tartaglia. Now Tartaglia can very much use this weapon, especially if you're running him in like Child National Team, where you are using him with Benny. As long as you can have Benny's burst readily available with enough energy recharge, and you can constantly have the healing going on, increasing his overall damage by that 16%. He's going to appreciate the attack percent as well. It's even going to affect the damage of his Riptide Burst. If you hit an enemy with a charge attack with Child, it will apply this mark. Whenever the enemy dies, it will burst, applying it to other enemies. Child's whole kit is interesting. But even like on the bursts, on the Riptide Burst, it will still increase that damage as long as he's healed. So this can be a very, very good weapon if you don't have something like something with crit rate or crit damage. Like if Sara's not using Skyward Harp, then I'll give it to Child. I also have the Battle Pass weapon, Viridescent, that I can give to Child that gets up crit rate because Child never crits. That's what he's famously known for. So if you have a good enough crit split, this can be a very good weapon for him as long as you have the ability to keep him healed. Next, we are going to talk about Fischl. If you are like me, and it took you 2 years to get a single stringless, but you can craft this weapon, then this can be a good weapon for her, as well as if you don't have something like Ally Hunter, right? I have an R5 Ally Hunter on Fischl, which is very, very good because I use Fischl off-field. If you were going to be using Fischl on field, my Fischl is C6, as you can see by the tiny little Oz orb next to her, dealing a lot of damage. You're going to see a lot of numbers flying up on the screen with Fischl on field. it is going to be increasing her damage overall with all of these numbers, as you'll see whenever we heal her. It's also going to increase his Oz damage, it's going to increase her charge attack damage, it's going to increase her burst damage, it's going to increase all of the damage, as long as we can keep her healed, as long as we can keep constant healing on your character. So if you do not have something like Stringless, if you do not have something like Alley Hunter or a 5-star, this can be a very, very good weapon for a character like Fischl. So that is going to be it for this video. If you have any questions, do be sure to leave it down in the comments. Myself or somebody else will be sure to answer it, and I'll see you in the next one.